your dreams, baby. Sharonda, how you doing?
I'm trying to survive. I've been struggling with daylight savings time. I am tired at 5. I have to fight to stay awake until 9 so I can sleep through the night. It's a struggle, but thank you for asking. How are both of you doing today?
I'm with you.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm so struck by your beauty, by your hair. Your hair looks so beautiful.
Look, I was struck by your hair because I literally just made an appointment to get some braids because I have to travel with my godchildren and they don't respect me or my hair. So I'm just like, this was meant to be. This is a sign.
Yes, I'm done. I needed to. It has been like so nice to have my hair, just because it's mostly been like just up in a bun, a mess, or in a protective style. My hair's so healthy, so it's been a nice time to take a break from doing all that. I love that you're sandwiched between us.
I wanted to be a part of the love story.
Listen,
like, I just wanted to be a part of it now. But I had such an amazing time. I actually saw this film before The World as We Know It ended at Sundance. I was able to be there for the premiere. And it was a film that, ironically, I really needed at that time at Sundance, just because I needed something to make me smile, to make me hope. And really, I think that watching this again during the pandemic is taking on a new meaning for me. And so the first question that I wanted to ask both of you, and Nnamdi, we can start with you, is how has this film taken an even greater meaning for you during the pandemic, now that we're all kind of stuck at home and time is something that we've lost?
I'll tell you what I needed during Sundance. I needed the support that Tessa gave me, specifically on the day that Kobe died. So as you were saying it, it was the thing that sort of hit me, being a friend of mine, and just having her there in that moment and talking me through and saying, look, if you don't want to do things, it's okay. You can move on. It doesn't matter. I hate to bring it to that place, but it struck me in a certain way. So I wanted to say that. So I'm glad that the film was uplifting for you with whatever you were going through. The goal of the film was not for it to come out in the middle of the most trying year that we've ever had. But the timing of it, we couldn't have planned that. I think it's sort of spiritual that we're going to be able to end the year in this sort of beautiful way after everything that we've been through this year, with a film like this. So it's just a miracle for us that it turned out the way that it did.
And Tessa?
Well, everything that Nnamdi said, I feel like the stories that we tell in some way can help us feel less alone. I certainly know that getting to watch stories during this time, during the pandemic, has been such a comfort to me. And in moments where I feel frustrated with this nation, for example, not understanding the value and dignity of Black life, it feels good to get to watch Black life exist on screen. And so I'm hoping that this movie feels like a respite for folks that have been having a tough time, and a celebration of love and joy, and certainly for Black folks, a love letter to them and to us.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you say that, because one of the things that stood out with me is that this is a film about Black love, but it's also, it's a period movie. It takes place in the 60s, in a time where Black people were not loved in this country, and some would still say we still aren't loved. But I love that your characters have humanity, that you love, you work, you have passions and careers. And I really wanted to ask both of you, how does it feel just to be a part of a love story that's not necessarily a Black love story, but where Black people get to be human and just live and not suffer? And Nnamdi, we can start with you.
During the civil rights era.
Yeah.
Like, all we know, from if we didn't live during that time, or we don't know anyone, all we know is it was the most difficult time. We know about the water hose and the marches and the dogs and everything, all of that. And to be able to make a film like this is, it's been an amazing experience, because it takes place during that time, but we're just focused on the love, or as Tessa likes to say, we're not focused on we're focused on the interpersonal issues versus the societal issues. Mm-hmm. I know that was going to be a part of her answer, so I wanted to say it before she got the opportunity. But listen, we also like to say Martin and Malcolm had time to get married and have kids. So why can't we show that type of stuff on film?
How are you going to steal what I say and then also steal what you say?
Also,
Like to say what you said. So now I have nothing to say. I don't even remember the question. You know, what I think is beautiful and fantastic, in addition to, because I think that something can be apolitical in its presentation and still be political in a way, centering the love in this film and not our strife in a way is its own political move, right? But I think just very superficially, how often do we get to be in the center of a glamorous, beautiful, glossy frame? And how many more frames would we have existed in like that in a time when Hollywood was making arguably a lot more of these films, had there been more opportunity for us? And so I selfishly, I want to exist in frames like that. I remember when Eugene said to me, I want audiences to feel when they first see you the way you feel when you first see Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's. I never watched that film thinking I was a subject worthy of that kind of gaze. I didn't ever see that about myself. And so I think that there's something really, powerful, and selfishly to me, equity looks like us getting to exist in all spaces. And we just haven't gotten to exist in this kind of space all that much.
You guys are giving me some words today. Thank you. Now, it's something interesting, Nnamdi, that your character says Robert says to Sylvie, and he says that life is too short to waste your time on things that you don't absolutely love. And so the last question for the both of you is, what is something you can either speak professionally or personally in your life that you just felt was really holding you back from your passion? And Tessa, we can start with you.
Oh gosh. Something that was holding me back, something that I don't absolutely love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something that you stopped doing that was holding you back from your passion, something you weren't in love with doing.
She froze.
No. I froze because I was thinking. I froze because I was thinking. When I first started in this industry, it was still very common that you would get a character description, and inside the character description, sometimes it would say things like so and so. Sometimes it would say things about race, and often it would say things about she is sexy or some idea of what the character was like. And I think particularly when I first started, people would say things about that I wasn't right for something because I wasn't this enough or that enough. And I think there was a period where I felt sort of, I don't know, interested in trying to be one thing or be another thing. And I think I just don't love that. I just feel really lucky that I've stuck around long enough to be in a place in my career where even if someone tells me that this role might be really good because it's commercial or it might get me into this space or that space, I don't really care. And I feel like those opportunities are for someone else. And I feel like I have a real certainty around things that really spark for me. And in a similar way, sometimes I'll want to do something and people around me will say, but you'll make no money, or no one wants to see that, or no one's interested in that. And I just don't care. I just do I just try to do what I like. And I don't do what I think is going to be successful or what I think people are going to like, or what I should be doing. And I just try to really focus on what makes my heart sing, and I know that that's a privilege, but I'm really happy that I have that privilege at this point in my life and this point in my career.
Thank you. And Nnamdi?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm thinking about things, but I don't know that they necessarily were holding me back. It was just another direction that I was going to go, thinking that that's where I was meant to be going. Like, I wanted to be a football correspondent for a little bit of time. Like I thought that's what I was going to do, or broadcast. So I did some work in that, and it just was like, that's not what I want to do. That's not where I'm supposed to be. So I don't know if it was holding me back, but it was it wasn't the right path for me. So in a similar way to Robert.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to me. Thank you for blessing my soul with a lovely Black love story. I appreciate it. And I can't wait for everyone to see.
I love the nail.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love the nails.
You know,
Thank
they're only sharp the first couple of days, and then, you know, we can coexist peacefully. Well, I hope both of you have a great
Awesome.
rest
Thank
of the
you.
day. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Thank you.